My name is Kingston Edgar. I'm a graduate candidate at Arkansas State University. I am studying to get my master's of art in teaching with emphasis on special education. Currently work for Paragould School District at a satellite elementary school called Baldwin Elementary. I am the self-contained teacher at Baldwin. I teach grades 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. I am currently enrolled in a course called Educational Procedures for Moderate to Profound Disabilities. And for this class, I have created a lesson plan. The lesson plan that I've created is for a specific student in my class. It's for a 4th grader. This 4th grader has multiple disabilities, significant cognitive disabilities, visual impairment, intellectual disability. A student's unable to read or write. So often when me and her, whenever I come up with lessons, we have to kind of do them one-on-one, and they need to be geared more towards her and what she's capable of doing. So for this lesson plan, my subject is science, and the topic is gravity. The goal of the lesson is for the student to have an understanding of the concept of gravity and Earth's gravitational force. Some objectives I've outlined that I want her to accomplish are I want for the student to learn that gravity is a force that pulls objects together. I want her to understand that Earth's gravity is the force that holds objects on Earth's surface. So a couple of vocabulary words that will be introduced. First one's gravity, a force that pulls objects together. Second vocabulary word is Earth's gravity, a force that pulls everything towards the center of Earth. Considering prior knowledge, me and this young lady will talk about how, she's not floating off into space, and then we're going to get into the subject of why she's not floating off into space, why everything isn't just floating in the air. So this lesson will be taught one-on-one. It'll be a one-on-one session for her. Teaching methods will include direct instruction, modeling. We're going to do an experiment. What I'll do, for the modifications and accommodations for this lesson plan, the verbal instructions will be presented loudly, clearly, and repeatedly if necessary. Larger object, what we're going to do is we're going to drop objects, and we're going to see how they all fall back to Earth. But the objects that I'm wanting her to drop, they're going to need to be larger. She has a significant visual impairment, and so the objects that she's going to use, they need to be large enough that she can see. So that's something important that I put in this lesson plan, so that she can see that when she lets go of these objects, they fall right back to Earth. So for the introduction of the lesson plan, I will walk up and I'll have an apple, and I will ask the student, what would happen if I raised this apple up in the air and dropped it? And I'll give her a chance to respond. And then I'm going to do it. Now I'll drop the apple. When I drop the apple, I'm going to say it fell to the ground because of gravity. That's when I'll introduce the term gravity to her. Say, there is a word for the reason that we're not just floating out in the air. There's a word for the reason that when we jump up in the air, we fall back, we come back to the ground, or when we throw something up the air, it comes back to the ground, and that force is called gravity. So I'll tell her to look around, look at objects. They're not all floating out into space, and she's not either. And the reason that she's not is because of a force called gravity. And I'll give her the chance to explain what she thinks gravity is, but then I'll explain to her what it actually is. So I'll tell her that gravity is a force that pulls objects together. It's found throughout our universe. It's a force that pulls objects to Earth's surface, and it's the force that holds our planets and our stars together. If it weren't for gravity, we wouldn't have stars, planets, the suns, because that's all holds that material together. I'm going to get that in her head and get her to understanding that. So I'm going to have her gather some familiar objects like backpacks. I'm thinking about maybe some of her shoes, some toys that she enjoys playing with. I'll have her gather all these objects, and then I'm going to ask her to make some predictions about what's going to happen if she was to raise it in the air and let go of it. And she can tell me whatever she thinks might happen. It might fly away. I don't know. But obviously, she will take these objects one by one and pick them up, throw them up in the air, whatever, and we're going to watch them come back down to Earth. And the point that I'm trying to make to this young lady is that due to the Earth's gravitational pull and due to the force of gravity, everything is going to come back to Earth's surface. Nothing just floats off into space. That's the whole point of the lesson. I explained to her that although we can't see gravity, we can see its effects. If gravity were not around, we would be like the astronauts up in space. But thankfully, we're not like that. So, and yeah, that's going to be my lesson plan. We're just going to pick up objects. We're gonna drop them, and we're gonna watch them go to the ground, and then I'm going to attach the force of gravity with that. When something is let go, it falls down. That's the way it is. So that will be the lesson plan. Assessment, like I said, this young lady cannot read, she cannot write, so I'll just simply ask her to explain to me why objects come down back to the surface of Earth. Why don't they just float around in air? And the answer I'll just be expecting is due to gravity. Gravity is a force that pulls things together. And if I can get that and talk to her, I'll be happy. I think that's all I really want. So that's all I got. Thank you.